I can't help but laugh a little bit at that. I look pretty smart pressing the pause button right now. This from a guy who was touting the climb. He did say it was a bubble in recent conversations with us.
Pretty much always called it a bubble, but he said it was a bubble that was going to go to 40,000.
And he was raising money to invest in it.
Yep.
So what in his mind really has fundamentally changed here?
Mike Novogratz, I have no idea what his mind's changed. He is indicative of one thing that happened this year, which is this was the year when you started to see just the beginning of Wall Street bankers getting involved, hedge funds raised to invest in cryptocurrencies. And, they have different expectations, different criteria, one of which is to show a gain at the end of the year, which, as we all know, is coming up in a week. So that could be a factor. I always think it's interesting when people talk about the bubble in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, because it's, as far as I know, it's the first bubble since Tulip Mania that didn't involve Wall Street or bankers in any way, because the housing bubble, the dot-com bubble, those were pumped up with the help of professionals.
Right, the professionals are kind of in the early stages here, as Mike Novogratz clearly represents. This dip that we're seeing in Bitcoin right now, it's not unexpected. I mean, people were calling for some kind of pullback, some kind of retrenchment for a while here.
Well, right now, I think we're up about 1,300%, 1,300% for the year. And so when it was over 2,000%, somebody said to me recently, he said, well, will it keep going up? And I said, well, at some point, people will start asking the question, why do I go to my job every day? I mean, if you can get 2,000% just by buying Bitcoin. So it's not unreasonable to expect it. Also, there has been some bad news this week. I mean, it's weathered all kinds of bad news in the past, but just in the past few days, we had sort of a concentration of things.
Negative headlines.
Yeah, well, Litecoin, which is another cryptocurrency, the guy who started it, who came up with it, sold all of it. And he has an explanation.
Wait, so he just cashed out completely?
He totally cashed out. He said it's so that he can comment on it, which seems interesting. But anyway, it was up 7,500% when he cashed out. Thinking of the dot-com bubble, I don't think there were any, internet IPO companies that the founders and CEOs said, well, I'm going to sell all of my stock.
Right, see you later.
Yeah.
And then there was Coinbase, the biggest U.S. exchange, announced insider trading investigation for Bitcoin Cash, which is one of the spin-offs of Bitcoin, which, again, may or may not be a big thing, but it certainly shines a light on the sort of unregulated aspect of it.